the Delusional Series, compiled according to the teachings of the Master. Author Fafu. The Delusional Series. Part 2. The Unity of Delusion and Dream. If one ceases to delude oneself, a terrible consequence may ensue. The person might appear to have lost their faculties. When asked a question, they cannot formulate a response, as if they have become a fool. How can this be remedied? Through wisdom. By employing wisdom and abandoning delusion, one will attain liberation. Yet this is a demanding task. Initially, one lacks the wisdom to accomplish this, as it is an untrained faculty. To cultivate it, one must first identify and refine every aspect of the mind. Each point must be memorized and adjusted. After this preparation, one begins to practice. Practice repeatedly, again and again, until this process becomes automatic. At this stage, it is as if one is a Buddha, whose actions are spontaneous and effortless. During the early stages of training, one must traverse a path similar to that of childhood. Just as one once practiced delusion, now one practices wisdom. If delusion is abandoned without the cultivation of wisdom, one becomes a fool, a true fool. In severe cases, such a person might not even recognize food when offered, and others would perceive them as a simpleton. The Buddha possessed immense wisdom. How can one cultivate such wisdom? Begin by memorizing the scriptures. Once the scriptures are committed to memory, one begins to develop insight. One's speech becomes articulate, precise, and profound. Through continued practice, one can attain this level of wisdom. Furthermore, one must understand the concept of dependent origination, the conditions necessary for a seed to grow into a fruit. Similarly, one must contemplate the causes and conditions of one's thoughts, words, and actions. When one attains a high level of spiritual development, one can skillfully navigate social interactions and avoid creating awkward or negative situations. Those who lack wisdom often speak carelessly, allowing their delusions to dictate their words. This inevitably leads to misunderstandings and conflicts. One should speak thoughtfully, expressing only what is appropriate and refraining from unnecessary speech. Delusion begins by focusing on a single point. From this point, one begins to elaborate on various fantasies, weaving intricate tales that are ultimately baseless. Often, these elaborate fantasies serve no practical purpose, as they are fundamentally unattainable. Nevertheless, one persists in creating them, driven by a desire to achieve a particular goal. Every word we utter is motivated by a specific intention. Every person in every utterance has a purpose. Observe closely, for these are fundamental aspects of human nature. If one does not cultivate the ability to discern these intentions, one will forever be manipulated by them, without understanding why. The more one delves into the nature of delusion, the clearer one's understanding becomes. Conversely, ignorance of delusion leads to perpetual entanglement.